What's up, YouTube? It's Flots45 here. So I actually got my hands on one of these Dave Mustaine Hangar 18 signatures. Well, actually, this is not the signature series, but it is. It's not the Chinese knockoff. A couple of reasons why. It's the Chinese knockoff. Vic's face is clear over here, and this actually goes through his mouth. I'm so happy. I've waited 13 years to try to get my hands on one of these at a decent price instead of, some of these are so expensive. But, excuse me. This one is the later edition. It doesn't have the cutout, the beveled. The first ones that they made, it beveled out, and then there was a notch here. Those were the first ones that they were, first series of the guitar, I guess you could say. This is not the 20th anniversary or anything. The 20th anniversary ones, they have the Dave Mustaine Elite, hot wire, pickups in them, however you want to say that. There's a couple of ways you can tell if these are the Chinese knockoffs, other than the print is completely shifted that way. The input on the Chinese knockoffs are over here. And I was told you could tell by the battery compartment. But the early ones, battery compartment's here. The earlier ones with that cutout, when I was talking about here, battery compartments are here. But it's got a serial number, which doesn't mean shit, I guess, these days. But I do notice a lot of difference in the first series to this one, where just the detail in the faces, and I got my phone upside down, or the guitar upside down. This one is it's blurry. The silk screening is just garbage on it, kind of. I'm just happy to have one, and it's not the Chinese knockoff, but it needs a little bit of fretwork on it, I'm gonna have to take a fret file, and just right through here, there's just a little bit. If you use the woman's nylons, you put them on your hand and you run up, or even a paper towel, you get a little snag through here. But these string the ferrules, the top ferrules, I bought the guitar, and of course they don't make these anymore, but this guitar has been through a really bad time. The string ferrules, which I hate, they just put them into the wood. They didn't put like a V-shaped metal plate here. String ferrules are great for acoustics, but this is wood. So when I got the guitar, the string ferrules, down at the base of them, they were 5/32. And I took the strings off, and I turned the guitar over, and of course, I removed the bridge, but the string ferrules just fell right out. And I was like, oh shit. And then I started looking. I put them back in, and I restrung the guitar, and you could see a gap back here. The holes had become oblong, not round anymore. And they had no knurl on them, the part that goes down in. And so needless to say, I purchased new ones. I got some 5mm ones. I took it to my work. I put it on a manual mill, and I used an end mill, drove straight down into it. 20 thou smaller than these guys, the 5mm, and I literally had to tap these in. I put a little bit of glue inside the holes, and then literally just tamped them in, let it sit for a week, and these actually, that improved that. My biggest concern with this now is the EMGs. You know, I don't know how I feel about those. But anyway, I'm going to flip this over. And this is the mess that I saw when I opened this guitar. Wow. This is the wrong gauge wire for starters. This stuff's right. That right there, as soon as I saw these yellow wires, I'm like, wow, you don't get anything from, even if it's a shitty guitar, you're not going to find something like this. This was a telltale sign. So what happened is I plugged the guitar in with some EMGs, dead battery, no battery. It should basically just give you a really low thud, barely even work, but this thing works with no battery in it. And I thought, shit, it's a Chinese knockoff maybe, but the serial number, it's actually a legit one, and this is up in the right spot. And here's another telltale sign that I realized somebody had messed with this guitar. I looked on the screws here, and I could tell somebody, because the powder coat or whatever had been messed with. So I knew somebody had taken these out. So when I plugged this in, got a brand new battery in it, clean, sounds all good. You put distortion in it and I get the worst feedback no matter what I do. No matter what volume, I just constantly get feedback. So I was like, what the hell's going on here? So basically what's happened is somebody, I don't know how many people have owned this. It's actually in really good shape. Not a lot of scratches on it or anything. But anyway, somebody tried to bypass this. They took this out. And on the active pickups, you need a three pod kind of a deal. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, come over here, and your input jack is a 3 pod. You have 3, 1, 2, 3, and there's also 2 on regular pickups. You're only going to have just the 1 here, and usually only have 2. That's what's inside there. And then I noticed that. I took it out and then opened this, and I see this mess. I mean, it's not the worst, but somebody came in here. They hooked up a passive pickup input into it, but they left 2 of the battery wires hooked up and did something here. I'm still not sure what this mess is. Somebody tried to bypass the battery so they didn't have to use the battery, which is fine. Go ahead and put just some Seymour Duncan distortions in it, and do it the right way, and just leave this empty. But this, what the fuck is that? That definitely did not come from any factory. These are all 22 gauge wires, which all this shit's legit here, but this is the telltale sign right here. Yeah, no. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo all of this shit and rewire it. And I'm not a wire guy at all, man. I mean, I literally don't know how to do... I do a little bit, but I did it one time on a BC Ridge. But I have a wire diagram for the EMGs for 2 volume knobs, 3-way switch, and a tone, which is hard to find because usually it's 2 volume knobs, 3-way switch, and 2 tones. But I do have one. I found one, and there's a lot of things going wrong in here. Not only did they try to bypass something, but they got solder and shit in places where, it's so gobbed up down here. Look at that. That is a mess. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of sad. You know, you take one of these guitars and, oh, I don't want to put a battery in it, so I'm just going to fuck it into an oblivion. But anyway, I'm going to fix it. And I will post after I fix it and show you. Again, I'm not a guitar wiring dude, but I am a perfectionist kind of guy. So, man, I see some videos on these. If you get the ones that have the Dave Mustangs in there, I mean, yeah, you're at this point you're looking at $5,000, or you can probably find them for $3,000, and a lot of them are beat up. But I paid a lot less for this one because it came out of a pawn shop, but it is actually the Korean built one, which isn't the Chinese one. But somebody did not give this guitar a lot of love. They just, amazingly enough though, there's not a lot of scratches on it, but I do notice when you look at the detail of stuff, it's terrible. The silk screening, I believe, is what they do on here. I think it's a silk screening and not a wrap. I'll find out real soon, but you get the 20th anniversary or even the first run of these things, everything is so much clearer. I mean, it looks like the detail on the faces and stuff. You can see Gorbachev up here, but you can't actually see him, the Russian president. You can actually see like his birthmark on his face. But I also know too, in the Chinese ones, this is moved up about 1/4 of an inch, and actually it looks kind of weird. And again, this bolt runs through his mouth, so, but I don't know. You know, I'm happy to have this. I plugged it in and I really can't play it because the wiring is so bad that I try to use the active pickups, and it's, you know, with distortion. It's a rock guitar, you know. And again, this, what the fuck is all of this? But somebody did some stuff. This here is right. You know, I really don't like some of that. It's not just wrapping black tape around it, but I'd just rather use some shrink tubing on it. But and I'm not a wiring guy at all, but that yellow right there is a dead giveaway that something's not right here. And the size of the gauge of the wire, man, I mean, look at the difference. I mean, usually I think, yeah, see that? Guitars are usually wired with 22 gauge or 24 gauge. I don't even, man, this fucker's huge, man. That's like massive gauge. But you can tell too, down in here, somebody started like soldering the living piss out of this down here. That's the tone. You can see the pot there, what do you call that, pod? And then three-way. This would be the bridge volume, and that would be the neck volume. But those weren't messed with. Somebody did a lot of damage back here. And the other thing I noticed on these volumes, I don't think I can get you down in there to see, but one of the parts where you can solder to, they both, you know, one of these needs to be folded back and actually soldered to the pod or the pot, and this one doesn't. This thing's a mess, man. So I'm gonna unsolder all this crap, get everything out of here, and I'm gonna redo it and see what happens. And I will post
don't do this, or don't do this
after I do that, or maybe even why I do it. Like I said, I'm not a wiring guy at all, man. So this actually freaks me out a little bit, but I know I can do it. So just gotta go slow. But anyway, just curious if anybody else has bought these, because they don't make them anymore. They are used, but I think there's more than 3 versions of these. So other than the Chinese one, of course, you have the ones that come out of the Dean custom factory for Dave Mustaine, and you got the actual silver or gold plates on here, and it say Dave Mustaine on there, and those are way more expensive. But it's a shame they don't make these anymore. But anyway, all right, YouTube. I'll post back once I get this done. Later, man.